Oh, Mother Saint Beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and nations, may they experience happiness, be separate from suffering and safely. I will still them in the still one surpass perfect complete precious Buddhahood. Oh, Mother Saint Beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and nations. May the experience of happiness be separate from suffering and safely. I will still them in the still one surpass perfect complete precious Buddhahood. Dala dan varase beda no parase bege tarba dan tam jen jen be barde ju parase ba tam je je so se be manam ga dan nyam be sim jen tam je de wa dan be dong arar dan rar nyor de lana me yang da bara zo be san jo rum bo je do bara sa the Santa achieving light remain. I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. Under death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. We take refuge in the Kandaru Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of mandalas of Yadams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dhakas, the Dakinis, and the Dhamma gardens, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Enter I attain the heart of enlightenment. I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the example of the Bodhisattvas. As previous Buddhas ambassador enlightenment and the progress on the Bodhisattva's path. Two, for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to Bodhicitta, and apply myself to complete the stage of the path. In the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, most excellent. I take refuge under enlightenment reach. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings. May all Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering, the causes of suffering. May they never be separate from the sacred happiness, free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. I bow down respectfully with my body, speech, and faithful mind to all Tathangatas and the 10 directions. Those who have already reached the Tathangata state, those who are reaching it at the present, and those Tathangata state to come. Through the power of Samantabhara's prayers, may all Buddhas manifest within my mind. I prostrate to them, multiplying my body as many times as the atoms of the earth. In each atom, I visualize as many Buddhas as there are atoms, surrounded by countless Bodhisattvas. Those are spaces filled with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I praise all Buddhas through manifesting, chanting, expressing the great ocean of the excellent qualities. To all Buddhas, I make offerings of arrows, pure flowers, flower garlands of music, honoring oil, manifesting light and fragrant incense. I make offering to them of fun, for garment pure and pure, beautiful, high as moon, and orange the most beautiful way. I visualize the highest and most extensive offerings, and offer them with great faith to all Buddhas. I prostrate to Buddhas and make offering to them, following the deeds of great Bodhisattva Samantabhara. I confess to you, Buddhas, whatever negative actions I have committed due to the power of anger, desire, and ignorance. I rejoice in the merit of all the Buddhas and the 10 directions of great Bodhisattvas and the Pakika Buddhas. Those who have attained Aharasha, those who have entered the path of Aharasha and all other beings. I request to all great protectors and Buddhas to turn the highest way of Dharma as the light, dispelling the darkness of being and the 10 directions, leading them gradually to the enlightened state. I supplicate those Buddhas intend to pass into Nirvana to living long for as many eons as there are atoms of the earth. in order to benefit all beings. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying for the sake of enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. The ground is sprinkled with the scented water and strewed with the flower. It is adorned with the mirror, the spread mountain, the four continents, the sun and the moon. As Buddha fair, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happinesses of Buddha first. To the lamas who possess the Tirikaya, I offer altar in our sacred offerings with my body, word, and all that is visible. Please grant me supreme realization, enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Om Guru Rina Mandala Punzamanga Saman Savarina Samaya Om. I call refuge on the name of the world. Your fame provides the 3,000 world. You are the waiter of Vajradhara with all adore. I bow at the feet of Father Jiti Sungo. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassionate one grant your blessings. Dispel darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize the unlimited nature of mind. Please turn the way of Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to disposition, the likewise mental capacity of sentient beings. No, Manjushri. 32, Deity Yoga Sadhana. Whose wisdom is brilliant like the sun, free of clouds of two words, and perceive the various steps of knowledge in the true nature. For this reason, he holds the wisdom text at his heart. He has a compassion for beings who suffer from the darkness of ignorance and the prison of samsara as a father for only son. Like a thunderclap, he awakens those who are sleeping in ignorance and losing the charm of karma through the 60th branch of Haramanes' speech. He wears the wisdom sword to cut the settling of suffering and to dispel the darkness of confusion. In the Bodhisattva form, he is pure from beginningless time, fully accomplished in the 10 levels and perfect in the body of all knowledge. I supplicate you, Majority, adorned by 112 sons of Buddha, to dispel darkness of my ignorance. Om Arabazana de 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 Om Arabazana. Om Arabazana de 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 Om Arabazana. Om Arabazana de Om Arabazana de Om Arabazana de Om Wange Joromo Wange Joromo Wange Joromo Wange Joromo Wange Joromo Wange Om Wange Joromo. You who are the perfect, beautiful body, whose flame of wisdom blesses, and dispel darkness of all the ignorance, I posted before you in the praise to Manjushri. Tangge tuje shaje reisen rong yin je me do de je bon jong ser je lembo tavar ji be ge shaje jar be jal sor wan de ome ji je tor jen chan je de lo na ro da mar bai mal chi je gam bo ba ba mo zhe ba yar wa de gong ga je la ma na la zor wan de ro me ji je yen je bo rang de de song san je gen je ngo wo nye rang sem ji ge ngo song dong ze be sa ve la me sha la zor wan de. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so stage of meditation, waking the mind. Waking the mind. We have to wake up from the delusion. Okay, so now this stage New meditation, chapter 8. Introduction, main body, conclusion. So we are in the main body of the text. Have a chapter 7. Now we are in the chapter 8. We all have chapter 8. So today we are in the chapter 7, how to meditate on the development stage of skillful means. Stage of meditation, generation stage. So this chapter, last couple of weeks ago, we talked about ground path result. Yesterday, we talked about outer, inner, and the secret levels. So, ground path result, we have the nature. Same as all the Buddhas, not different. So on the path, we purify obscuration because we don't recognize we have that. Result is we discover our own nature, what we have on the ground. Then yesterday, we talked about we have that ground, same as all the Buddhas. That's the reason we have to practice the Yidam deities, because we have the nature, same as all the Buddhas. If we don't have, then we don't have to practice. So we have that nature. That's the reason we have to practice. Using the outer level practice the Yidam deity. Outer level practice the Yidam deity support helping us recognize our inner Yidam deity. So it's the same as, when you take refuge. Refuge also have a relative truth refuge, absolute truth refuge. Relative truth refuge, we're taking refuge to Buddha, who has compassion, wisdom, who is free from obstacles. And we take refuge to Buddha because we don't have compassion, we don't have wisdom, we don't have Buddha's quality. That's why we're taking refuge to Buddha. That's outer level taking refuge. But inner level taking refuge is like we are taking refuge is our own its own taking refuge. Called the main point is have to recognize our own nature is Buddha. So true refuge, absolute true refuge. That's most teaching is followed by like that. Outer, inner, and the secret levels. So then we talk about the 7 branch prayers. Postation also have outer level postation, inner level postations. Confession also has outer level, inner level, secret levels, all these different levels. Each practice has follow outer, inner, secret levels. So today we're talking about the Yidam deity. Yidam deity practice also has outer, inner, and the secret levels. We have to practice first. Most important is outer level Yidam deity practice. Use that, then we recognize our inner, our body, or this vein, channel, nada and chakras discover the Yidam deity. Secret level practice is practice Mahamudra, meditate. Just go into nature, directly into nature mind, resting mind. Meditate. All these different levels due to the individual, according to individual level. So now we are today, the book is 88. Knowing, unceasing, present awareness, emptiness, luminosity beyond any conceptual constructs. So yesterday we talked about all these nature mind, different ways explain, nature mind has different aspects, so we explain different ways. Then yesterday I shared with you, truly we cannot really share using the words, the nature mind, because it's beyond the words. So same is like finger showing the moon. The word is the same as a finger. Finger is not the moon. Like that. So this, we talk about nature mind, explain. It's the same as the finger, it's words, but not really meaning. So meaning is using the words and then practicing. We have to discover our own nature through the practice. So these words only give you just kind of like direction, understanding, but not really can give you the true nature, show you. That's why Telopa also cannot show to Naropa. We have the stories, right? Telopa take all the shoes, hit to Naropa's head, because he told Naropa cannot show. You have to discover your own nature. And the nature is not object of pointing someone can show something, because nature is not really a physical object. That's why it cannot show. Only you can discover through the meditation practice, using these special instructions, Pitta instructions, and Guru's blessing, so that then you can discover nature mind. Yeah, so then here is today we're talking about the Yidam deity. Think about also Guru. Guru also have outer level Guru, inner level Guru, secret level Gurus. So now we're talking about the Gurus. That's all we're talking about, the outer level Gurus. Inner level Guru is our practice. Your bodhicitta is inner level, your Guru. Absolute truth Guru is like your discover your own nature. That is your true, secret Guru. So like that, Yidam deity also outer, inner, secret. Ru Guru also outer, inner, and secret. Take refuge also outer taking refuge, inner taking refuge, secret taking refuge. All they have different levels due to the individual capacity. So now today here, talk about three avenues. So I don't know this word is a correct English. Avenue means. Yeah. So it's this Tibetan sometimes translation to English is not really get meaning. So I don't know. It's maybe you understand avenue means. To explain this by way of three avenues of liberation. This three is logic. The logically approving true nature. Just wordly, logically talk about discovering nature. That's why I explain by way of three avenues of liberation. Then the first avenue of liberation is emptiness. This three avenue is come from Mayamika teaching. Mayamika talk about absolute truth nature, and then Mahamudra is the same view, not different. So this logic is come from Mayamika teaching. Mayamika teaching says first avenue of liberation is emptiness, means everything is emptiness. All phenomena is emptiness. Then our nature mind also emptiness. We cannot accept mind is permanent, exist. So otherwise, like Chitta Mattering is even in Buddhist, they accept mind is permanent. Maya Minka said, no, everything is emptiness. According to our mind, also emptiness. Even of liberation is emptiness. It is not something newly created, but rather it is innately present. So, it is not something new created. See, that's we know create emptiness. You know, emptiness is natural emptiness. It's just discovered true nature. It is not something new created. Using the, like teaching, practice, then something is no emptiness. Using the practice and the teaching and become create emptiness. Not like that. So generally, naturally emptiness. Even you don't practice, even you don't use logic, actually everything is natural emptiness. Maya Minka don't create emptiness. Maya Minka just show the true nature, what it is. That's why it's not something new created, but rather it is innately present. So innately present and conditioned by nature, the essence of emptiness. So all is like everything is unconditioned by nature. Nature is unconditioned. Relatively, everything is conditioned. Absolute truth is unconditional, means like emptiness, not dependent, not relatively. Relatively dependent condition is not exist actually. That means like not exist. That all the true nature is not exist, unconditioned by nature, the essence of emptiness. The nature of this emptiness is free from all labels and cannot be described or fit into our conceptual mind as an object of understanding. So that's the second avenue. First is emptiness, or the phenomena is emptiness. Nature mind also emptiness. Second is the nature of this emptiness is free from all labels. So labels, we just create labels. Actually, nature, no labels exist there. Label is not exist. Everything is like we delusionally we create, but truly label is not exist. So think about, we talk about this is a temple. Right now where is called temple. Where is the temple? So you investigate, you cannot find anything existed, permanent existed inherently there. So label is not exist. Like that, so you each us we have a name and relatively, but you true investigate where is the name is exist. Name is not exist because our self is not exist. How can be name is exist? So label also cannot be exist. Everything is like that. It's all delusionally and relatively. Of course, we have a name, we have labels, but truly name, label, this no exist. Because object is no exist, then how can be label is exist? The nature of this emptiness is free from all labels and cannot be described or fit into our conceptual mind as an object of understanding. So then that is free from all labels and cannot be described or fit into our concept mind as an object of understanding. If label is exist, then you cannot put the name because it's already exists in the object. right? So we can put the labels and names. That means no exist. That's why we can put the labels and the names. If name and the label, they exist already in the object. When you create the object, you don't have to put the name, you don't have to put the labels. They already have already there naturally. But everything we create, that means like not really exist. That's why we have to temporarily create the names, labels. This all the phenomena we have labels, names, different kind of like we calling, but truly object is not exist. The label and the names also not exist. So that this logic is investigating the nature, investigating the cause, and investigating the result. So first avenue is investigation to the nature. So second is investigation to the cause, I think. So third one is like investigation to the result. First, like all this phenomena, you know, is truly, and nature is no exist. Nature is emptiness. Second, then we talk about all this cause is cannot put labels. It's emptiness. The nature of this emptiness is free from all labels and cannot be described or fit into our conceptual mind as an object of understanding. This is the second avenue of liberation, the avenue of being beyond characteristic, by which to repaint it. So that means like it's investigation to the cause. The third one, in this dharmata of equalness, beyond anything to be attaining or the act of attaining something, there is nothing to watch to aspire. This is why the third avenue of liberation is not aspiring for a result. No, is the third one, investigation to the result. So result is we have something, expectation, wanting something. Actually, you don't have a cause, you don't have object is exist, then how can be expectation to the result? Result also not exist. So that's why in the dharmata of equalness, beyond anything to be attained or the act of attaining something. So here is the main point. Relatively, we have grown path result, but truly, these three also not exist. It's investigating use logic. That means right now we are already liberating. We are already in the nirvana. You cannot have a nirvana somewhere else to get result, you know. So, or is the result is not exist there too. That's why this is why the third in the dharmata of equalness, beyond anything to be attained or the act of attaining something. There's nothing to watch to aspire. This is why the third avenue of liberation is not aspiring for a result. Then we give rise during deity practice to mandala. So that's a section called three avenue. It's come from Mayamika teaching. Actually, these three logics introduce emptiness. We talk about nature, mind is emptiness. I use these three avenues in this book. The reason is when we share the Mahamudra, Yadam Deity teaching, you must have to have some level understanding, you know, this Mayaminka idea. So otherwise, you view is become internalism. You think something exists permanently. So something result is exist there. That kind of percept is like called is internalism. So you think something exists permanently. Buddhist is free from all the extremes. Cannot accept, like exist, no exist, neither or either. Must free from all that concepts. So otherwise, when you practice Yadam Deity, it's almost similar as go to Hinduism. Hinduism also have this many gods, but they go up to higher level and then they exist permanently. They are creator, they are protector, they are exist. So Buddhist protector is no exist. That's why it's a protector. Means if you exist, then you cannot protect it. No exist is emptiness, then that is a protection. That is a protected. It means like no one can harm to you because it's emptiness. You are no exist. You have to recognize that, realize that is the become, we say God or Buddha or whatever called the name is become, it's you can think that is okay temporarily. You accept something exists permanently, then it's the same as like, right now we same as us, because right now we think we are exist. That's why we have a self and I exist. Long as you accept you are exist inherently, then you accept yourself. Long as you accept the self, then you have I. Due to that, you have others. Due to that, you have create emotion, then create a karma, then go to stuck in samsara again and again. So these three avenues are put here is before practice Yadam Deity. Before Mahamudra, you have to understand is Yadam Deity also not exist. Path is not exist. You cannot attach to the path. You cannot attach to wanting something, attach to result. So temporarily, of course, like beginner is okay. I yesterday told you the Buddha's teaching is loss is a white liar, Yeah, it's according to the disciples. So different levels have to give different, like the suitfully the levels different teachings. Someone going to cross the ocean, so then the ocean is too vast, too big, no courage to take the boat to cross the ocean. Then Buddha created many islands in the ocean. So he created islands. Then he said, okay, only 10 miles you go there, you have island. So then people okay to go there 10 miles, like, get boat to 10 miles, go there, you can get the rest and you can do party. And then you resting enough again. They say, no, we not reach. So we have to go to another better island. So then another island, you get there. So you have to take another island. Like that way, cross the ocean, cross the samsara. That's why it's, it's different levels teachings. But first you have to say, yes, only that you get there, you enjoy, happy. That is a perfect place. We have to get there. So like that, Buddha giving many different levels teachings because due to his wisdom and compassion. So actually it's true. So up the higher level who realize the low back to again Buddha's teaching is almost 90% is white liar. So you have to say that, you have to do that, because otherwise you cannot benefit for others. So no one going to get liberation. Here, so that's why it's this three avenue is actually not even detail. If we talk about more detail about this three avenues, then you can elaborate all the Mayamika teachings. using these three avenues. The main point is the cause is no exist, result is no exist, object naturally is emptiness. So think about our right now ordinary being, we are no exist. Cause, we are cause is no exist. Result Buddha, like we talk about the nirvana, samsara actually cause is samsara is no exist. Nirvana is no exist. And then all this samsara nirvana naturally is emptiness, no exist. So that means this all six realm beings no exist, or the Buddhas also no exist, emptiness. So as long as you realize emptiness, then you are liberated, free from samsara. No, then when we give rise during deity practice, so then you can go into deity practice to the mandala. And the deities within, first we visualize a immeasurable palace of the deity, and then we give rise to deity within. So this practice is different method. This practice method is why we are stuck in samsara, because due to impure precepts. Then how to get rid of samsara? We have to create pure precepts. We have a different method. This is a different method. So now then how to create a pure precepts, give rise to, here's a mandala, the deity within. First we visualize a immeasurable palace of the deity. Then why with these sentient beings are stuck in samsara? Because they are attached to their own place, homes, universe where we live. We are attached to our land. We are attached to our house. So then how to change that? Long as you have attachment, that what is problem? We cannot liberate. We cannot liberate. Still, we're going to stuck in samsara because your mind is coming back to again attached to in these worlds. Maybe we're going to reborn animals or human beings, or some spirits in this world or in the house. So think about some people die, and then they become spirits in the home, that house. Why? Because they're attached to their house. So then their attachment is actually first like negative is you have to get rid of. Then slowly also positive attachment also we have to get rid of too. The first like we negative attachment get rid of. If long as you attach to your homes, we cannot liberate. That's the reason we have to meditate Yidam Deity's palace. So for the liberation has many obstacles. One obstacle can be stuck in samsara. So that's the reason we have to use all this method. Make sure everything's okay, right? So we're not going to attach to in this land. That's why this universe is transformed to the Buddha's pure line. Create a pure precepts. We are make sure not attached to our house. That's why we visualize, meditate, Yidam Deity's palace. Create a pure precepts. So that's why here, and first we visualize a immeasurable palace of deity, and then we give rise to deity within. Giving rise to a immeasurable deity palace has two stages. So I have to follow two stages. The first is known as purification of the environment. So purification environment. Deity palace is purification. What is purification? Because we are impure percept is purified when you visualize the Yidam Deity's pure line and the palace environment. And the second is the actual development of the immeasurable palace. See, the two things. First is we have to purify of the environment. Second, we have to purify attachment to our house. So actual development of the immeasurable palace. For first stage, what is being purified is the formation of the world, where sentient beings are born. So sentient beings are born into this samsara, 6 realms. These 6 realms, we have to create Buddha's purely. Then, long as you have that precept, you don't have 6 realms. 6 realms exist or not is depend on our individual, precepts, right? So now use this method, we create our habituate karmic imprints in our mind, plant the seeds and meditate. So all these realms is become Buddha's purely. Then you create that strongly in your mind, then you don't have samsara 6 realms. So Buddha Shakyamuni already mentioned about his in the sutra teachings. He said this is pure land, but who born in this pure land, they don't perceive, they don't recognize this is a pure land, because all these beings has impure percepts. The Buddha Amitabha Pure Land, who born into Buddha Amitabha Pure Land, they all has a pure percepts. When we are reached to there, you can see the pure land. It's different, this is called Madashen, is impure realm. Buddha Amitabha realm is a pure realm. Actually, both are pure land, but who born into this place, in this world, is Buddha Shakyamuni's pure land. We cannot see, only realizers can see this is pure land. Ordinary beings don't recognize, don't see the pure land. That's why Shariputra and Tsangpa Rinpoche and other Bodhisattvas, they have debating. I share many stories with you, that story. Tsangpa Rinpoche is come from another pure land, received teaching from Buddha Shakyamuni in the virtual peg. So Shariputra was there. Shariputra seeing same as us in pure percepts. Tsangpa Rinpoche, he's seeing pure percepts, not different than other pure land. Then they has debating and disagree each other. They went to see Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni told Shariputra, this is a pure land, but you cannot see because due to your obstacles. And long as you free from obstacle, this is a pure land. And he showed some, like magic power where he showed Shariputra, this is a pure land, pure. Then the Buddha Amitabha's pure land, long as we reach every single being see the pure, that everyone has a pure perception. In this place, it's pure land, but only realizers can see. Ordinary people don't recognize. So now we create this Yidam deity practices, impure places transformed to the pure percepts. Usually, when we share the Dharma teaching, in the beginning, actually have to meditate. What is meditate is like where you live, that place is Buddha Amitabha Pure Land. And then your house is where you stay, is Buddha Amitabha's palace. Then all the Sangha, usually in the temple, we think about all the Sangha who come into the zone is Buddha Amitabha's retinue. Teacher is Buddha Amitabha. So like that, we meditate, visualize. That's all is in the My Perfection Teacher, something in the, Patrul Rinpoche wrote the book, and many, this Lamrim text book has beginning, we have to create that percept. So it's also good opportunity when you're going to receive Dharma teaching. During that time, you think about where you stay, that or is Pure Lane, and your home is Buddha's palace. And then yourself is that Buddha's retinue. So that we have to create, during the receive teaching and during the practice, Yidam Deity. So here, for the first stage within what is being purified is the formation of the world where sentient beings are born. And we have to create the pure percepts. First, we start with the element of space and with the mind, which is the principal cause of the formation of the world. First we start to see with the element of space. Then where is this world is come from? First, space. And then wind, then water, and then earth. All this element started, and then world is arise. So we are attached to in this world. Then why we are reborn into this world? Because mind is attached to this world. Our mind is attached to this world. That's why we are reborn into this in this world. For the first stage, what is being purified is the formation of the world, where sentient beings are born. First, we started with the element of space and with the mind. So which is the principal cause of the formation of the world. See, mind is the principle. Because mind is attached to the world, that's why we are reborn into this world. The specific karma of sentient beings, collective and similar in nature. So then why we are reborn all these many beings here? Because very similar karma we create. And we create a collective karma. So these karmas bring to us in this world. Cause of the formation of the world, the specific karma of sentient being, collective and similar in nature. We have very similar karma we create. We also create collective karma. Then forms specific world systems that appear to the sentient beings who share similar karma and whose habitual imprints influence the mind and perceptions. So these collective karma wrappings as a collective environment shared by these sentient beings. So we create the same karma, collective karma. That collective karma create this universe. Then also think about where is the harems. This harem also the collective karma too, because their similar karma create harems. If that person is no karma, then that person is never ever go reborn into this world. If that person don't have this karma, collective karma, they're not going to reborn in this world. The person didn't have karma to reborn in harems, they're not needed to reborn because they don't create a karma. They don't have a similarly karma. All these beings create a similar karma, collective karma. That's why we reborn to different kind of realms, similar realms. By the sentient beings. This refer to the mandala of 4 elements and the Momeru. So then that's why purification is we create Momeru, visualize the Momeru too. So that is when we chant the mandala prayer, talk about the Momeru. Momeru is exist or not exist, it doesn't matter. It's not the case, it exists or not exist. Most important is like Momeru is purification. You created that in mind, remove impure percepts. So that is a method. That's why here said this refers to the mandala of 4 elements and the Momeru. So we create, Momeru mandala. So then it's this every individual has different percepts. How this world is locally exist. No, we seeing scientists thinking, seeing is like world. Also in talk about the world, Momeru. The long time ago, this some, tradition, Indian tradition share about Momeru. Right now, we're seeing this world is different. But that's it. Whatever you see is this, it doesn't matter, because anyway, this is all delusion. So impure perception, we have to remove that impure perception. That's why we have to create, use this word, bid for something and offering mandala. That's also another way to, this impure word is using causes of happiness, create accumulation merit, and object of attachment object is become, offering object, create accumulation merit. That's also another method. So Momeru, these are purified. Then we have to purify this world into Buddha field, where Buddha awakening the innately pure space of phenomena, dharma dharma. So where is Buddha's abide? Buddha's abide is pure place. The pure place is pure line. We talk about the pure line. Then according to individual level, pure line also different. So because due to individual, like we have to share the pure line, is for the, someone is very cold weather, and they always want hot place. So we say pure line is hot, okay? And someone always too hot, always hot weather. Then what we have to share them? Pure line is cold. They're always wanting cold. Pure line is cold. Yeah. And then someone always want flowers, and they cannot afford flowers. Oh, you go to Pure, when you reborn Pure Land, you don't have to buy whatever you want. Your wishes is everything's come to you. So flower, everything is naturally rising. They wanted to go to Pure Land. So that is a method, In example, in Tibet, very cold. When I was young, someone said, Pure Land, no winter. I really wanted to become rich to Pure Land. Summer is beautiful in Tibet. So we expecting summer, right? So like that, it's always like according to levels that sharing this pure line is actually, we don't know. Truly, we don't know. So we just can share for others. It's great something, but we don't know. I told already with you, because this all is a kind of due to like white liars, try to take into right direction. You just believe and follow is get something great place. Yeah. So you don't have to argue. Yes. And then that's why it's here. Also, we can get rid of in this impure world. One day we reborn to pure place. Then pure place, we don't know which kind. Okay. High realizer is talk about emptiness, no exist. So that's not really good for beginners. then no one wanted to go there because it's no exist means there's something want to exist space. And for beginners, we share the pure light means like great everything. You know, whatever you want, you have all the desired things. So then they wanted to reborn there. Then high realizers, someone is free from desires, then you can share the high level something like no exist emptiness. It's a dharma dhatu. So that's they recognize it's great for them, you know, it's according to individual level. Buddha fair where Buddha's waking, the innately pure space of phenomena, dharma dhatu. Where is the Buddha's state there? We call dharma dhatu. Then what means dharma dhatu? So many explain. I just told you according to individual, you know. Then we can explain outer level dharma dhatu, inner level dharma dhatu, secret level dharma dhatu. So inner level dharma dhatu, where you live, that place you create a pure, that is your dharma dhatu. Inner level, secret level, your whole body is mandala. So arise to Yadam deity and secret level dharma dhatu. Outer level, we have to think about the Buddha Amitabha pure line. You know, we don't want in this world because beings too much suffering. And we wanted to free from suffering. That's like that's why we wanted to reach somewhere higher realms, means like outer level thinking. Dharma dhatu. Then you go up to secret level. When you meditate, you recognize your own nature mind. That nature state is called dharma dhatu. So have different levels. That is we have to purify in the world. So then the agent of purification. So then how to remove this impure precepts? The agents of purification are the 6 syllables. So we have to practice these syllables. And the syllable E, syllable E, so Yam, Ram, Lam, and Som. So that syllable is actually 5 elements, representing 5 elements, which issue rays of light. This all is called creation stage. You know, generation stage means you have to create in your mind. This method remove the impure precepts. So that's why we create Yam Ram Lam Sam, from which issue rays of light. So this light radiates, this purify the 5 elements and the conceptual grasping at the 5 elements. These letters, light radiates, go to all this world, and then think about all this impure, this world is transformed to Buddha Amitabha pure line. Kind of like that, we have to visualize. From which issue rays of like this purify the 5 elements and the conceptual grasping at the 5 elements. So then purify 5 elements in the conceptual grasping at the 5 elements. We have a grasping fixation to this element. So purify the concepts and the grasping are purified to the 5 elements, at the 5 elements. Then, of course, this more detail goes. Each letter has different colors. Each letter is represented with different elements too. So here, generally, just you think about this syllable, like letter is go to in the world, and then this word is transformed to pure purely and release all your conceptual grasping attached to in the where you live, your place. So that's the another, like generally you can just if you don't go very detailed way and you just think generally, that is, I think, is okay. Because if you go too much detail and sometimes it's harder to do and practice. It's kept very simple way, to practice is like more effective. If you try to go much too details and it's easily lost. So that's why when I created this book, I create all the essence, generally like most important, not going into too details because we can lost. Easily we can lost. Then also like you think about, this part, what we can create. If you have a house, you give the name. Like example, I have a house here, Garchin, you give something house means like meditation house. And like that, you can create like Tara house, Amitabha house, like Amitabha garden, Chinreza garden, Tara's lake, whatever you own, you just give label to that and like 100% I'm offering to these Buddhas, So that means like you can create naturally accumulation merit there too. And then that is introduced to your grasping, and the object is also become offerings. So you can have a like car, so say, okay, this is Archie's horse, right? And so then you have a house, this is Archie's mandala or palace, like all other Buddhas, like which you really strong connect with which Buddha, just think about for them, even you buy one flower, for that flower is belong to this Buddha. So that kind, we have to use like method, daily, activity, using this whatever we owned is for create accumulation merit. Otherwise, whatever we owned is causes of suffering. When we die, is object of obstacle for liberation. So this is a method. Method you can have, but when you touch to that object, think about, this is Archie's horse. Like when you're going into the car, like that. When you're at the house, it's like, Buddha Amitabha's house, palace. That way we can create, this daily, we have our own environment transform to Buddha's object. And then you can, generally you can hold this word is like Buddha Amitabha purely. That hard to keep always that kind of maintain in your mind. But sometimes you can just practice, meditate, visualize this is a whole is Buddha's purely. Here you should have the yogi confidence. Then we say yogi confidence should have the yogi confidence. So yogi confidence is also different levels. Just one is like you trust, devotion, and then you drawing is like you fear in your mind. Offering this house is Buddha Shakyamuni, something you have really feeling that in your mind. Otherwise, you just say, this house is a Buddha's house. Like you going just kind of singing and no mindful. It's not creating like, it's that much in your mind, connection, playing seeds there. Not create a habitual in your mind. That's why yoga confidence means so many meanings. Then here has full notes about So 15 footnotes is according to Buddhist among cosmology, Mon summary, Mon Meru is the enormous economic mountain that lie at the center of world system. I see this. That's all okay. So this Mon Meru is exist or not, it doesn't matter. So we just have to purify impure precepts. Here you should have the yogic confidence of the union of basic ground and result and remembering that the innately pure state of the 5 elements is the 5 female Buddha of the 5 females, 5 families. Okay, so here here, so the yogi confidence of the union of a basic ground and the result remembering that the innately pure state of the 5 elements is the 5 female Buddhas of the 5 families. And so in this, right now we're sharing here, talking about elements. This word is 5 elements. It's transformed pure. So element is 5 females. 5 female Buddha is 5 elements. It's transformed to the 5 female Buddhas. Element is the 5 female Buddhas of the 5 families. Then, of course, this going to detail is lots of informations. So just you think generally, this 5 elements, 5 female Buddhas. That's we have these 5 elements, our body, and of course each this object has 5 elements. So that's nature true is 5 females, 5 female Buddhas. Means that then all is become is Buddhas, like impure is transformed to Buddhas, 5 females, families. Second is giving rise to immeasurable deity palace. So then second is we, giving rise to immeasurable deity palace. This we talk about this 5 female Buddha is 5 elements, 5 female Buddhas is lots of details about this section. Is if we go too much detail, is we're going to lost. So main point is this meditators, practitioners recognize, we Tibet we call Sa Sanje Chima Chomama Kuku is like each has names. Earth elements Sa Sanje Chima, female Sanje Chima, Sa Sanje Chima, Chomama Kuku. So each one has 5 elements, has names like which female Buddhas. This one also, I think you had longest teaching about Bardo Tudor has talked about also these 5 Buddhas, also 5 female Buddhas, 5 female Buddhas named there. So this 5 female Buddha is followed by these 5 elements. And we're not talking about impure, this one is Buddha. The true nature is Buddha, elements, nature is Buddha. So that means like think about ourselves has 5 elements. When you are become Buddha means that part is wisdom, 5 elements. You have to 5 aggregates. So that is 5 Buddhas means like five Buddha as a method. And union means like, see, five female Buddhas, five Buddhas. Union means like wisdom method is union, inseparable. So that's why here, union of the basic ground and the result, remembering that innately pure state of the five elements is the five female Buddha of the five families. And we think about like become Buddha means free from five elements. Free from five elements not affected to them. That means they realize fire is emptiness. So fire cannot burn that person. So Malarepa, they burned in the fire. Fire cannot affected to Malarepa. They put Malarepa in the water. Water cannot affected to the Malarepa. So like that, element is already transformed. Element is already controlled. You know, then that is like we call the Buddha. Means that person is already has that level, you know, kind of realized. For us, fire is cannot say Buddha, female, because fire going to burn you. Why? Because we have impure perception. We are grasping fixation to the fire. And as long as you have that perception, what doesn't matter, you're saying like fire is female Buddha, fire is female Buddha. You touch the fire, not possible. Fire going to burn to you, right? That means like your perception is impure, not yet pure. Perception is pure means fire cannot affect you, water cannot affect you, this element cannot affect you. Element is you controlled. Element is become arise, you know, you are arise to element, or elements rise to you, like, you know, become, you have that control. So that time then we can say this element is five female Buddhas, five elements. That is actually true natural reality, but due to our impure perception, due to our grasping fixation, for us, is the five element affected for us. So hurricanes are coming to right now in New Orleans, something like that, whereas because the hurricane affected to where the goes. The reason is the people who live there has fixation, like mentally we have that percept. You know, we don't have this realized. That's why this fire, wind can affected to us. And this practitioners free from that. And use this five element is become a rise for the wisdom. Elements become a rise to the wisdom. It's lots about this section have lots say about, I mean, the more detail, and it's hard to understand until we realize. So five female Buddha of the five families. Use this, you know, this element, I mean, the syllables, we mentally visualize like that it's all this transformed to Buddha's pure line. So we can create that in our mind, percept easy way. Then elements become Buddha means that is like goal result. Second is giving rise to the immeasurable deity palace. So here we purify abides where sentient beings live and stay. So we are stay in our house, we are attached to our house. Then think about one single tree, how many bugs, beings, birds live. They are their house. Yeah. And some beings live in the water. Water is their house. Some beings live in the fire. The fire is their house. So fire is not always hot because individual different percepts. Fire is permanently hot. Then beings cannot be in the fire. Some beings, fire never affected to some beings because that means fire is not permanently hot. It's all is individual percepts. So we cannot stay in the water. We stay in the water, we die. Fishes, the many beings can stay in the water because they have their own percepts and the karma imprints, habituate. So water is a house for them. For us, our house is comparing to different beings. Some is like this house is where we live, the house is become universal for them. $10, some really tiny bucks, they're universal for them. So all these beings has different percepts. Then our body has also many different beings too, bucks. So they recognize our body is universal for them. So like that, it all is percepts. So we're thinking about, where is the Buddha Amitabha Pure Line? How far from here? That is incorrect thinking, actually. Of course, like you give some suggestion to like something giving for kids, beginners, or it's a northwest, it's like west, Buddha Amitabha Pure Line. From here to like, we give some, measure like how far destination, something we giving to them, but that is incorrect actually. They need that, some beings need that. That's why they're giving these informations. But truly, Buddha Amitabha Pure Line can be here right now where we live, but we don't see him. They're all different beings has different percepts. We think about this, what they call the virtual reality. Virtual reality. So virtual reality, gargle is put in your eye. You can be in the, in the moon. You can be in the Himalayas. You can be in the oceans. So your perception become totally transformed, changed, right? So like that, where is the Pure Line and where is this harems? It's always a percept. So no, this practice, we don't want impure percepts. Impure create causes of suffering. We want pure percepts. That's why we created that pure percepts. Using this method, if you put the virtual reality, gargle, and that take you to harems, you don't like that. You first unhappy, so you don't want that, right? You want to like somewhere else, like in the moon or space or somewhere like great place. So you say, I wanted that, then we have to create that. We don't want other like suffering object, right? So that's why we don't create that. This is creating like great virtual reality. This practice. So see, this kind of teaching is used to people not easy to share. No, it's we have virtual reality. You understand clearly what talking about Buddhas. Yeah, this technology helping Dharma is become very clear. And in this kind of this generation stage virtual reality, yogis is going there all the time. They come back, they write down, but we don't understand what they're talking about. Sometimes people think they are crazy. They're going, they practice this, they can go that kind of, virtual reality. So now we have virtual reality, we understand what they're talking about. You know, you get your idea something due to this technology. Remember that in families. The second is giving rise to immeasurable deity palace. So deity palace, we are purified abides where sentient beings live and stay, such as houses and so forth. And the conceptual grasping to those, these are so purified into pro-modern wisdom of original basic space, Dharma Dhartu. So we create a Dharma Dhartu. No, you knows what means Dharma Dhartu. Dharma Dhartu means where we stay. So right now where you live, this is your impure Dharma Dhartu. We're going to create a pure Dharma Dhartu. Use this method. Why we are stuck in pure Dharma Dhartu? Because we're grasping fixation to this impure. We have a habituate, very strong habituate, karmic imprints. That's why we stuck in this impure, place, space. Why bugs stuck with the trees and under the ground? Because they created the karmic imprints, habituate, fixation. That's why the result is it's happening for them. Then why fish is in the water? Because they're grasping fixation to that water, and they create a karmic imprints, habituate. That's why the fish is stuck in the water. They are their Dharma Dharta temporarily, until they're free from that fixation, karmic imprints. Until that, they're stuck there. So we have this karmic imprints in this house, stuck with this. Long as we have a grasping fixation, and we are stuck in this kind of house, human beings creating. Explain to this. These are purified into pro-modal wisdom of original basic space, Dharma Dharta, free from all elaboration, which is talked to be above of all the Buddhas. The immeasurable deity palace is thus the palace of the abiding nature, just as it is the true awake Akineshata. So now we create, Buddha's palace. This is a mandala. And the mandala usually write down palace. And also we have each Buddha has a different palace create. That also, these yogis precepts they create. But we can truly, that also like temporary too. Something for helping for remove our, impure precepts using that method. But truly we exist that kind of palace in the Buddha pure lane? I don't know. I don't think so. We create Chakrasambhara mandala, we create Chinrezek mandala, we create Buddha Shakyamuni, Pema Sambhava. Each has palace. So they're created by, like different kind. You can see physically the bird. Then some people create the same mandala. That's also the Buddha deity palace, the same mandala. So that helps like remove this fixation, grasping, impure, percept to this house, ordinary house. Then truly we don't know exist that kind of house. I don't know Buddha Amitabha live like, we created the house. We talk about a mandala. So, but that method doesn't matter that it exists or not, Buddha's pure line, but that helps us remove impure precepts. And that helps create a karmic imprints, Buddha's pure line. That's why we use that method. So that is a purification. We create Buddha's mandala of innately pure appearances. The pure essence of appearances. The agent of purification is taking on to part the palace of innate pure appearance of the Buddha field. So we visualize the Buddha field, visualize Buddha's palace. The two helps we are grasping to the world, remove that percept, impure percept, and create a pure percept. And we are attached to a house, so that's impure percept is remove, create Buddha's palace. This is called creation stage. It means we create. We not talking about Mahamudra, Maya means absolute truth. So this is a method. Creation means we create pure percepts. You don't need to think about whether that truly exists in the Buddha purely or not. Using some method, right? So that helps create a pure percept. Then from the casual C syllable comes the syllable drum, pronounced drum, drum. Tibet is called drum by Tibetans, emitting the 5 color lights. So that this is the purification. Purification is from the casual syllable. So each one has a syllable purification. This one is a purification for the house. Syllable drum by Tibetan emitting the 5 color lights. The C syllable descend to the top of the Momeru. After emanating and reabsorbing light rays, the C syllable drum transform into immeasurable deity palace. So right now I'm in stay in the my temple, right? So I just think about in the drum syllable is descend from the top of this temple, and then become this temple is transformed to Buddha Shakyamuni statue is here. So example, this is a Buddha Shakyamuni's palace become. So like that, we visualize. Top of the Momeru, after emanating, reabsorbing light rays, the C syllable dome transform into the immeasurable deity palace. The dome syllable light radiates means like not only transforming where we live that house, all these houses, not human beings' houses, animal houses too, bugs, everyone's house. The light radiates means like all this transforming, everything is transforming. Then into immeasurable deity palace, become everything is a deity palace, which arises from the cause of true accumulation of merit and wisdom. Then where is that deity palace is come from? True accumulation merit. So our practice like create a merit is become transformed to this Buddha's palace. Accumulation of merit and wisdom. The immeasurable palace. Essence of the 5 wisdoms. Appeared replete with perfect ornamentation, shape, and structure. So then this Yidam deity palace has shapes and structure, ornaments, so many different kind of that. Wrathful deity has different peaceful deities. Wrathful deity has asymmetries all around. It's represented with samsara. Then inner also, then palace. So peaceful deity is more for us better, seeing. Wrathful is kind of like, scattering, threatening, palace, because asymmetry create wrong. each cemetery has then this birds, tigers, lions, or these different kind of wrathful animals eating other beings, and human beings corpse, and cutting, and this taking of the pieces, like other animals eating, like all this create so many different kind, like beyond our thoughts they create. So that is like all in this pure samsara is cutting, samsara is transforming. The main point this cemetery create there. Then inside their palace is all different kind of shapes and ornaments, structures. They followed by this instruction from the each tantra teaching have to follow by. So that's all is helping for impure percept is transforming. So then this Yadam deity's palace is exist or not exist, that is we don't know. But then who created that? There is realizers, Buddha Shakyamuni, share the Tantra teaching, use this method to impure percept is transforming. Use method. Then this, of course, this Yadam deity palace is due to our percepts. We create also this structure is like all beautiful ornaments too. Then direction is also different colors because different direction has different symbols, meanings, colors. And then this each palace has 4 directions, four Buddhas, and the center, and then the Akobia, I think, center, and then that's why it's called 5 Buddhas. So create 5 Buddha in this palace with the perfect ornament, shape, and structures. It is important to have an understand of the significance and symbolism of the pure attributes depicted in the celestial palace. So this each has, of course, a significance and symbolism, different meanings. So then that is like we have to log to each Yadam deity's palace and then talk about all this, what is this symbolism. So same is like we think about Vajra Yogini form body, we explain like Chinrezek form body. So each one has a symbolized meaning, right? Like that. Yadam deity palace also has symbolism of the pure attributes depicted in the celestial palace. This is known as recalling the purity. However, beginners are not able to remember all this symbolic meaning during one meditation section. This is why if you simply remember that all the quality of the immeasurable celestial palace of the deity arise as specific representations of the myriad inconceivable enlightening quality of purity and realization. These functions are as a sort of close cousin, I think, cousin or approximation of the quality of recollecting the purity. Of course, we cannot think all these details like when you meditate too much. Not possible to, come to in the mind everything one by one. So many there. So when you learn something, study, then you can, like we can share, oh, this is this symbolized meaning, this is this symbolized meaning, because we have this kind of impure percepts. That's the reason we have to create this, all these details levels. So think about Buddha share 84,000 Dharma teachings. We have individual, we have
84,000 afflictive emotions. And then that's why, so that teachings, and that teaching is also put in the symbolized meanings, create object. That's why so many different kind of diversity, these mandalas, is harder to understand too. Then, of course, this structure, palace, is due to the culture. I think due to the culture, they create like followed by culturally, which is the best the thing, kind of structure, special something for them. Some countries really like the gold, then this palace is all is gold paint. Some countries like that really like the the blue color, then this all the palace structure is like painting by become blue color. So that kind of is followed by individual. I think it's followed by culturally they create like people's mind percepts is like something great. So main point this we know so like this impure house and the place we live is transforming, create something different percepts through our devotion. So that is the method, Then this also palace has, of course, like Buddha's quality is showing too, symbolic during meditation. This is why if you simply remember that all the quality of the immeasurable celestial palace of deity, see Yidam deity's quality arises as a specific representation of the myriad, inconceivable, enlightening quality of purity and realization. These functions are as a sort of close cousin or approximation of the quality of recollecting the purity. Then the summarize the palace as a secret expression of the self-appearing pure celestial palace of Buddha. We meditate on the mandala of the deity by bringing this on the path. We bring the pure lanes of all the Buddhas along the path. Along the path, the way to do this is through the confidence of purity and the perfection, the indivisibility of basic ground and result. So this practice is here is right now sharing about the summarize why we meditated this or Yidam deity's palace. Why we have to do that? The reason is, this by bringing this on the path. So we impure or this is taken into the path. Impure percept is transforming, is taken into the path. So you saying, right now, our desire object or is taken into the path. Usually something object causes of suffering is taken into the path, causes of happiness. So that's the Vajrayana method. So no, our house is no problem, long as you meditate, Yidam deity's palace. You have a beautiful house, more great accumulation merit become. See, Vajrayana method and Hinayana method is contradict each other actually. Why is a contradict? Means due to the individual level. you know, Hinayana method, you cannot have a desire object. Desire object give you suffering, causes of suffering. It's change of suffering. Suffering of change equals change, suffering of change. So the Vajrayana, then that is taken into the path that create causes of happiness, not the suffering of change. Suffering is taken into the path. That's the Vajrayana method practice. So 10 years old children put in the car, let them drive in the highway. Yeah, that is incorrect, right? Terrible for the causes of death. Not only him and she, just maybe others too. So like that, and beginners, this desire object taken into path means not possible. Same is like 10-year kids drive in the highway, let them to drive a highway, even they don't have driver instructions. Yeah, driving instructions, without that, you let them to drive in the highway, it's causes of death, no questions. So like that, for beginners, not possible this desire object is taken into the path. So no, we cannot say beginner another level. So we know how to drive, right? Like that. We have, long as we have this instruction, means like you have a driver instruction, and then you have to practice, practice like you drive maybe in the safe place, like that. You using like some kind of like object, meditate, visualize, offering, like example, like beautiful object, what you owned, flowers, something, create, or it's like, offering to Buddha, create mandala offerings. Then slowly you can, all this, object is offering or, transforming something more bigger than that. So change, or it's like our, like you causes usually your more desire object, more like something, create attachment object, and that kind of object, desire object is transforming to, offering. So like that, this instruction, our daily life, we something object is a strongly attached object we create, that mentally offering, transforming, taking into the path. So I just told you, like your house is thinking about the Tara house, Chinrezek house, like that, Tara mandala, Chinrezek mandala, your garden where you have owned the house space, or is the Chinrezek Pure Lane garden, Buddha Amitabha garden, like that. You can create mentally and offering. So that all desire object is transforming, taken into the path. So that's why he has bring this on the path. We bring the pure lane of all the Buddhas along the path. The way to do this is through the confidence of purity and perfection, the indivisibility of Bijak, ground, and the result. Then on the path, we create all the Buddha's pure line. Then when you get result, you get in the result like pure line. So that is like you, when you do that, confidently you can create in your mind. Because everything is emptiness, everything is possible, change. If the permanent, impure object, then you cannot transform to the pure, create something great. So all is dependent. It is relativity. Every object is impermanent, emptiness. That's why you can change. So fire is can change to the water, water is can change to the fire, like that. When Milarepa, he has debating, disagree with the Pompo, you know, like all the Tibetan religion teacher. They are fighting in the Monkalasha in Tibet. The Monkalasha is a very special mountain. Milarepa climbed his mountain because he said, this is a Charasambhara, my Yadam dead is a mountain, embodiment of the Charasambhara. Others says, no, this is his holy place. The mountains, I don't know, some reasons, all these religions climbed. Hinduism, Buddhism, every, you know, all these Tibetan different lineages, you know, they talk about this mountain. Then the Milarepa fighting with this guy, Pombo, and they talk about, you know, the rocks. Milarepa said rocks not exist. He said, yes, rocks exist. Then Milarepa go through the rocks, flew. And there, I've never been there, but the people who go there, they see that, you know, the image is always there, footprint and kind of what they did, some symbols stay there. So rock is not exist for Milarepa because he has realized emptiness. So we don't have realized emptiness, then rock is exist for us. It's rock, someone hit us, extremely pain. We are suffering because our percepts, rock is exist. Someone hit rock Milarepa, no pain, no suffering because rock is not exist for him. Yeah, like that. So in this impure, right now, exists for us. And that's why we are fixation attached to that. That's the reason this impure, this percept create a suffering for us. Someone create a pure percepts, this impure object cannot create for suffering for the impure or object is become create causes of happiness, object of happiness. So that time is object is no problem, right? Our concepts, grasping is a problem. Impure perception is a problem. So long as we get rid of that, or this object is transformed, changed. That's why we can create all this impure is pure perception. Yeah, why bugs stuck in the tree? Because they're eating and they're stuck there in the house. Their percepts, they're grasping fixation to that. That's why they are stuck there. We know stuck that because we don't have that percepts for us. Then same is like that. We're seeing the bugs, why stuck the trees? We have cautions and under the ground. Why human beings stuck in this impure percepts that bodhisattvas seeing, we are same as bugs, you know. They have totally different percepts for us. So we think we are something special, we are clever, we know everything, but comparing to bodhisattvas, we are bugs. So we are more worse than that, you know. That's always dependent, right? Means like not exist. We can change everything. That we have a power. So who can create change? That we have to change, because we created that perception. That's why we have to change that perception. Buddha only give this instructions how to change that. So like Buddha created the car, Buddha created the road, Buddha created how to drive instructions. So now we have to drive. We have to learn how to drive. We have to drive the car like that. So if we don't drive, we don't follow the instruction, we don't drive, then not possible to get where we're going to go. So like that, you know, no Buddha give this all instructions for us how to do. And long as we use, we can get right direction. So that's the Vajrayana teaching is called special skillful method. It's skillful method, using skillful method to purify this all impure precepts. So okay, so now we finish it today, and today we talk about environment, world, and impure, how to transform that. Then we talk about a house like palace, place we live, so that transforming, how to meditate, visualize, practice. Okay, so we finish it today. Then we continue next week again. Now we're going to do the dedication. Dorjen Chang, Teloba, Naroba, Maba, Malareba, Dama, Lord Gamboba, Pamotroba, Lord Gomba. Please bestow upon us most auspicious bless of all Kaju Lamas. By this virtue may I achieve omniscience, by defeating all enemies, confession. May all who traverse on the ways of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent, precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise, where it is born, may it not decline, but it will increase higher and higher. I pray that Lama may have a good health. I pray that Lama may have a long life. I pray that your Dharma activities are pure and wide. I pray that I may not be separate from you. As Manjushri, the Vero realized ultimate state, as did Samantha, I will follow in the path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddhas who attain the three kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as a such, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order, may the merit I shall bear fruit. By this virtue collected 3 times by my 7 all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by in a rule of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain and surpass perfect, complete, and precious enlightenment. May the teaching of Great Gompa Ranashiri, who is omniscient, Lord of Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of the samsara. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kempo.
Thank you,
Thank
Kempo.
you.
Kempola, can I ask a question?
Thank you,
Yes,
Kempo.
Laming has a question.
Okay. I have actually more than one question. One is the waffle deity, waffle palace. If all these terrible things and all these things, what do we learn from that?
Why we learn from that is samsara terrible is not too bad. Yes.
Okay. The second question, when you say that we generate the purification, so like I really love the lake. I really like kayaking. I like to see the sky and the color of the sunset and the trees surrounding on the lake. And it seems to me it's like pure land. I offer all the beautiful things to the Buddha. But if I look deeper, I see that the big fish eating small fish, and then the bird eating the insect. So even in that very purification kind of mind, I still see a lot of suffering. So what can I do to purify that? Can I just pretend there's no big animal eating small animal? Or what is that to face the reality, the truth, but not distracted by it?
You can think about nirvana eating samsara. Yes.
Nirvana eating samsara. So
yes.
Is it the Buddha become the Buddha renunciation is because he see that the suffering, the farmer sweat, and then it's from the Hinayana tradition, the Vinaya tradition, but that's why he renounces. Is that also cause renunciation if we go to the waffle palace to see the waffle deity? And are we going to prepare to renounce, or are we going to just see that it's samsara is not too bad because I don't have a lion waiting for me to eat me up.
Oh, so that's a really long question, Laming. And I mean, just like we see all this stage of meditation all go through one by one, right?
Yes.
So we can follow that when meditate practice.
But I never heard you talk about Waffle Palace, and I never heard about the like the purification. I actually really interesting.
Waffle Palace is a kind of like fun house.
A farmhouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun house, like do you know that? I think I say correct. Some places like, yeah, it's like you go, it's very skating, hunting house. So we have to recognize that all is that is displaying emanations.
So how do we purify with it?
Oh, purify is mandala, visualize the mandala.
So like if I like the beautiful lake, the beautiful tree and the sunset, is it one way of me to purify my mind instead of looking at the fire, the wall and the flooding and the jar? Because I just struggle with that. Are we supposed to look directly into the suffering instead of avoiding it?
So that's here is like you have two thinking. One is like we follow the cause and the karma, cause and the effect, and talking about virtues, no virtuous, and this Yadam Deity is talking about transforming its different levels.
So is the transforming is a higher level than the looking at the virtue and virtue other thing?
Yes.
Is it higher level, the transforming?
Yeah. Yes, transforming is a higher level.
Okay.
You use this, suffering object is create Buddha's, quality yourself.
What kind of quality? Is compassion or the wisdom?
Both.
Okay, because when we generate fourfold, you said that every day we should generate the fourfold, and the fourfold is the first is see the samsara, the defect of the samsara. So
four thoughts and this today we share is totally different. I told you the contradict like first teaching and this different kind because due to the individual level.
Okay.
And the fourth thoughts you have to think about all these 6 realms suffering beings. And this one is the 6 realm is no exist. This all transforming.
That's my contradictory establish is that so when we first establish the fourfold and all these kind of things, and then later we go higher level to transform all these samsara nirvana are all non-exist, and we become the Dakini, we become our Idam Deity, and even the Idam Deity is not exist.
Yes.
Okay, so eventually it's emptiness.
Yes.
But we still have to go through the first, second, and third stage.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Kempula.
You're welcome. So usually the temples, like design and that all is created by Lords, is the Yadam Deity's palace. And see in Tibet, like the Potala Palace is also created by, Chinrezek Palace. You see, Juliu has the image behind his showing. So like that, you know, it's the bird house, like structure palace. Okay, so thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kempo.
Thank you, Kempo.
Yeah.
Guru.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, son.
Bye.